At three distinct concepts here, and that is called social responsibility, corporate social responsibility or CSR, and corporate social investment or CSI. Now, guys, this is going to be very important that you guys would be able to distinguish between these three different concepts. They are not the same thing. So, although it forms part of the same topic, you need to be able to distinguish between these three concepts. I made a mistake. Right. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to look at the meaning of the term social responsibility. And social responsibility is an ethical viewpoint that says, and this is where the crux of the matter is, every individual or organization has an obligation to benefit society as a whole. The code word there is every individual. This is us as a collective. Corporate social responsibility that we will do a bit later refers to a business's responsibility. In social responsibility, it's a broader concept that says every business or every individual or organization has an obligation to benefit society as a whole. Right. There it comes again, the responsibility of every citizen to contribute to the well-being of the community and in the environment in which they live. So, guys, if the question here counts 4 marks, then you can use those 2 bullet points to get your 4 marks. Just be very mindful. If it says define normally has a 2-mark answer at the end, or 2-mark allocation at the end. If the mark allocation is only 2, any one of these 2 bullet points would earn you the 2 marks. If it says to you elaborate, then there might be a split in the mark, and that will go there. An ethical viewpoint that says every organization, your first mark would go there, has an obligation to benefit society as a whole, and your second mark will go there. Right. The next one, there's a link between social responsibility and the triple bottom line. Now, guys, the triple bottom line is a concept that we've done since grade 10, and it refers to the 3 P's, and that is called people, planet, and profit. And there's, of course, a link between social responsibility and the triple bottom line. Now, I'm just going to put all the bullet points up here. It says explain the link. Profit, economic, that would get you 2 marks because it didn't specifically say to you what the triple bottom line refers to, so you will be accredited marks for saying that it is profit. So that's the 2 marks, and then the 3rd mark will be allocated in the explanation. Triple bottom line means that the business should not only focus on the profit, 1 mark, but should also invest in CSI projects. Right, the next one is people or social. You get 2 marks awarded for knowing that the triple bottom line has got the 3 P's, and the second one is people. Business operations should not have a negative impact on people, or you should engage in sustainable community programs that will uplift communities or uplift the quality of life of all your employees. Now, that is the second one. The third one, of course, is the environment. You should not harm the environment for profit purposes. So with other words, guys, if we can do anything to reuse or repurpose material instead of taking it from the environment, it's always your green initiative to rather go for that route. So that would be the planet part. Now, guys, you need to be very careful here and look at the mark allocation. If the mark allocation in the question that says explain the link is 9 marks, 2 marks will be awarded for naming the element of the triple bottom line, and 1 mark will only be awarded for the explanation. Then you don't need to go into too much detail with your explanation. If it is a section C question, you won't know what the mark allocation is. So then I'd rather give the 2 marks for the naming still, and then I would give the full explanation where it will be split. But in a section B question, if it's a 9-mark question, that you will get in that way. Or if it's a 6-mark question, it's going to be 2 of those that you need to get at least. I know in a 150-mark paper these days, it's not likely that you will get a 9-mark question because there's just not enough marks available to set that paper in that way. Right. The next ones that we are going to do is socioeconomic issues that, of course, challenge our social responsibility. There's a number of those socioeconomic challenges. We have done this quite extensively from of grade 10, and you might be asked to identify those specific socioeconomic issues from given case studies. You would also be required to suggest strategies on how to deal with these issues. So it's very similar to the things that we have done now previously with Mr. de Klerk. It will be asked in the same kind of way. Right, so the ones that we are going to be looking at the moment is suggest strategies to deal with HIV/AIDS, and as you can see there, the keyword there is suggest, so the marks will be allocated at the end. Train counselors to provide counseling for infected and affected employees. Conduct workshops on HIV/AIDS programs, antiretrovirals. Guys, these are things that you actually have dealt with in life orientation quite extensively, and most of those recommendations will be acceptable here. I just want to reiterate the point. If you can stick to the ones that are in your core content, then you know that those come from old question papers. It will be asked again, and that is quite relevant. Okay. I'm just quickly going to go through all of these. I don't think it's necessary that we need to deal with every single bullet point. Guys, the mark allocation will guide you there. Be prepared for about 3 of those bullet points. I think that would be enough. That's for a 6-mark question. It might go to an 8-mark question, but as I say, 150 marks makes it very unlikely. But if you can remember 3 or 4 of those bullet points, I think you would be great.
I think it's probably a good idea whenever there are a number of facts that you actually want that are under a particular heading. I think as a rule of thumb, you should learn 2 or 3 at most, because even if that's asked in an essay question, you will still between all the different headings and
yes.
that you have, you're still going to have more than enough. So wherever there's a multiple answers or multiple bullet points that you have to learn, make sure you know at least 2 or 3. A fourth one as a backup in case.
Exactly.
But in section B, I doubt that they'll go beyond 8 marks, if they even go to 8 marks.
That is exactly it. I know the last paper that I've set, I think there were 1 8-mark question in there. So be prepared for 8-mark questions. As we say, we have never seen an end-of-year paper that's split paper. So we are also taking an educated guess. But I think 4 marks or 4 of those bullet points should put you over the edge. That's more than enough. Right. Now we are with unemployment, and you can see there are 5 different bullet points there. It says provide skills development programs through learnerships. You guys can see I've highlighted the key words there for you, and that is what they will be looking for when they mark this answer. Offer bursaries to the community. Just finish your sentence off nicely. You don't need that entire sentence there in order to get the 2 marks. Just finish off that specific bolded letters. Offer bursaries to the community, I think should be good enough. Create jobs for members of the community, that should be good enough. Entrepreneurial programs, that should be good enough. And then, of course, support existing small businesses, because the code word there, or the verb there, was suggest. Then we have poverty. And once again, the words are highlighted for you there that will help you remember. Starting SMEs, invest in young starting SMEs. That can be a business competitor, buyer or supplier. Attract the best employees by being socially responsible. Right, poverty alleviation programs that are offered by government, or then, of course, any food parcels that you can do. Right. Then the next question is now the bit more difficult one. It says, explain ways in which a business can contribute to the well-being of their employees. Now, once again, guys, there's plenty of information there for you. The first 4 bullet points, or the ones that makes the most sense to you, that you will most easily remember, those are the ones that you need to remember. 4 of those should be good enough. Okay, the first one, pay fair wages to the workers. Now, that is your statement. What must you do in order to get the second mark? You just now finish the sentence based on the nature of the work or the prevailing economic conditions. What it means with the prevailing economic conditions in the market, they're looking at things like your inflation rate. I do not want to pay my employees or give them wages or raises that are less than the inflation rate, because it means that they will be going backwards. So I need to take that into consideration when I work out wages for them. I also need to take into consideration the type of work that they do, the danger that they are in, the type of skill involved, and those type of things I need to take into consideration when I want to work out the wages. Right, working conditions should include safety facilities or medical facilities, and then other things like housing, leave retirement, and so forth. Pay fair, bonuses based on the business earnings. Now, guys, maybe I can just explain to you how this works. Many businesses have now done away with the idea of paying a 13th check. What we are now doing is they are paying them an incentive scheme bonus based on what the business has earned throughout the year. So if it's a massive profit that the business has made and there was proper growth being shown in the business, what they then often do is that filters down to their employees in the form of an incentive scheme. So the bonus is not a fixed thing. You might get 1 year a very big bonus, and if the business is doing a bit badly, then you might not get a bonus. But the thing is, it is incentivized because now all of a sudden the employees have got something to work for. So that's a new way of paying bonuses.
I think it's quite interesting because it's a way for the business to motivate
motivate,
staff to
exactly.
do their best. So because
Yes.
if the company makes more money, they get better incentive packages in the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Quite clever.
Right. The next one, provide for employees participation, decision making that affects them. And I think you guys could have remembered in previous topics that you guys have done, the whole idea of a workplace forum that is in the Labour Relations Act that we've done, and this is exactly what this basically means. I'm not going to make decisions that will affect my employees, maybe their working hours or wages, without actually consulting them. So that is maybe the best way to do, because then the employee feels empowered within your business and he is prepared to go the extra mile as well. Okay. Annual medical assessments to workers, trauma counseling. You guys can go through all of these things. Find, as I say, the four that makes the most sense to you in order to remember. Okay. And then, of course, guys, once again, there's a suggest question. Suggest the contribution of time and effort in improving the well-being of the community. Business should improve the general quality of life of the community, like investing in education. Now, guys, I did say to you before that in a suggest question, we are looking for the essence. Now, you might be hard-pressed to find your 2 marks if you just say businesses should improve the general quality of life of the community, because that is basically in the question. I think what they would be looking for there is the last part of the sentence, which says invest in education. That is actually what you are looking for. It might not just be education. It could be some other thing that will improve the well-being of the community. So just look out for things like that. Okay, ensure that the product they supply do not harm consumers or the environment. Refrain from engaging in illegal practices. Now, guys, the code there in that question suggests the contribution of time and effort, that is the one, in improving the well-being of the community. We are now not looking for other businesses. We are not necessarily looking for your employees, but the broader community in general. So that is one thing that you need to do, is when you read questions, read what they are asking about, because we oftentimes make that mistake that we do not, that we answered the right things, but the question, we're not answering the question. Okay. Right. The next concept that we are going to be doing is corporate social responsibility. Remember, we have now done social responsibility. Now we are referring to the business's obligations here, and I've put the meaning of CSR. If the question should come to you, elaborate about the meaning of CSR or explain the concept of CSR, then you can do it in this way. By continuing commitment by businesses to behave ethically, that's your 1 mark. I'm looking for that, behaving ethically, to contribute to the economic development while improving the quality of life of the local community. Now, if you said that, your 2nd mark would have been there. CSR is the way a business conducts its operations ethically and morally. As you guys can see, that ethic and moral comes up there again, regarding the use of human, physical, and financial resources. And then, of course, it is required by law and benefits both the business and society. So, right, that was the meaning of CSR. And then, of course, CSR has got a specific purpose. Now, guys, CSR programs are internal programs. With other words, it's within the business. It doesn't come from outside. I'm not taking already made programs that are on the shelf. It's internal to the business, and we normally need to use that to comply with laws. We are looking at things here like protecting the environment, our employees' well-being, and then, of course, the community and civil society at large. And then, of course, business seek to promote public interest and do away with harmful practices without the need for legislation. And then we address the triple bottom line. Now, guys, once again, the purpose of CSR, I don't see this question counting more than 6 marks, so 3 of those bullet points should be enough for you. Right. Now, guys, there's a load of components of CSR. These are the focus areas in which your corporate social responsibility programs should apply. So the first one, ethical corporate social investment, health and safety. It could be about corporate governance. You guys have learned about the King Code principles there. Business ethics, employment equity, supply chain, customer, community, environment. All of these are components of CSR, and they might ask you to list those different components of CSR. If the question is list, then you can see that there are only 1 mark allocated answers there. Right. Now, the next one is discuss the impact of CSR on businesses. Now, guys, this is a very important question. Discuss the impact. It doesn't mean that we are generally discussing here. Discuss the impact means an impact can have either positive results or it can have negative implications for us. A positive impact or a negative impact. So we are basically weighing it off. Discuss the impact and evaluate basically means exactly the same thing. So what it wants you to do is it wants you to respond positively or negatively or both. You don't need to know all the negatives and all the positives, but you must respond in either way. Okay, so now the answer will reflect the following. You will say what the impact is and why is it positive or why is it negative on the business. So this is a higher order question that you will get. So let's look at the positives for CSR. The business might have a competitive advantage, and you can see I have highlighted the competitive advantage part because that is your statement. That is where the mark will be allocated, resulting in good publicity. So that is your why it is positive. It is, you have a competitive advantage. Why would you have a competitive advantage? Because you received good publicity for doing good and nice things for the community. Right, the next one, promotes customer loyalty. Now, what is the benefit of customer loyalty? Resulting in more sales. So you guys get the idea here. Let's look at a couple of negatives here. Customers may not buy the products or services. That's your statement. Now, what will happen if that happens? We will have a decrease in sales, and obviously that will be negative for us. Small and medium enterprises find it difficult to implement CSI programs. Now, guys, small and medium enterprises don't have all the money and resources available to send into big corporate social responsibility programs, but they also are compelled basically by law to do these things. And because they don't have that financial resources, they may find it very difficult to comply with all of these laws. Right, the next one, detailed reports must be drawn up, which can be time consuming. So you guys can see how the negative, how you explain why it is a negative or why it is a positive. As I say there, guys, you don't need to go and remember 4 positive points and 4 negative points. If you from the whole thing can remember 4 bullet points, positives or negatives or both, then you should be good for that question. Right. Then, of course, guys, very important, I'm just going to go back on the slide, discuss the impact of CSR. Now, you need to be very careful here. I've seen it last year at the end of year exam, where people actually answered, they only read, discuss the impact of CSR, and they started responding about the community. But this question didn't ask that. It asked, discuss the impact of CSR on businesses. So you need to make sure that you read this question very carefully. All of those impacts there has got to do with the business. The next one is on the community. The first one, socioeconomic issues are attended to. That's an obvious positive. But why is it positive? For a community which will improve the welfare of that community. The next one, the highlighted part, training opportunities is what we are looking for. Increases the possibility of appointments of members of the society so they can find a job. Right, implementing developmental programs in the community provides entrepreneurial skills. Now, guys, those developmental programs can be things like night schools, or you can have mentorship programs to help them start businesses. Those are the types of things that they are looking for. And then, of course, guys, bursaries to encourage them to continue to improve their skills. So you can see why these things are positive for the community, and that is why the qualifier part of that statement should be. The negatives, business not always equipped to address social problems. Communities tend to be dependent on CSR programs. I know this response is very, very popular amongst learners. Throughout the years, communities tend to be dependent on CSR programs, and they struggle to take their own initiatives. So, guys, you can see there, you can go through all of those. Once again, 4 of those bullet points should be enough, and not just positives or not just negatives. 4 bullet points in total should put you over the edge. I think it's quite important
just to reiterate what you said, that they must read the question carefully. Yes. So make sure, are they talking about the impact on the business, or are they talking about the impact on the community? And sometimes they might even say, discuss the positive impact or positive or negative impact, in which case then your answer can only allude to positives or negatives. Yes. So I know they favor just the word impact, but just be careful, just in case they say, discuss the positive or negative, then you have to only discuss positive or negative in that instance. But make sure, as Mr. Van Zyl said, read the question carefully, underline if you need to underline, to make sure that you are not in a position where you've studied the work but you're not getting the benefit of actually getting the marks. That's the worst thing that I've seen happen, is people, you can see they've studied, they know the answer, they've just read the question incorrectly, and then they lose those marks. And that obviously has a negative impact on your results. So read very, very carefully.
I also want to say, Mr. de Klerk, you alluded to something there earlier, that they can ask you to discuss the negative or the positive. Although I've never seen a question like that, but I've actually seen a question that could say, justify investing in corporate social responsibility programs. Now, if you need to justify something, you are actually required to respond positively. Yeah. So then you need to only look at the advantages. Okay. So that's important for you to understand what the question requires from you to do. Right. Now the last one that we are going to do is corporate social investment. It has a specific definition, guys. It's a bit different to corporate social responsibility, and later on you guys also need to distinguish between the two. And there's one particular distinction that I want to highlight a bit later. Right, there's of course the meaning of CSI. If you had to elaborate on the meaning of CSI, refers to the investment of corporate funds or other assets for the primary purpose of achieving social outcomes. Now guys, the whole thing actually lies in that sentence. Refers to the investment of corporate funds. So now you need to actually invest money, right? It's not just something that I do, I'm actively investing money. And the second one there is in the last part of the sentence, it says the primary purpose of achieving social outcomes. Now guys, in corporate social responsibility, we use those programs as a marketing tool. We will do that a bit later now as well, but we use it as a marketing tool where we get good publicity, and that brings us more profit at the end of the day because it's marketing. But corporate social investment is something completely different. I'm not doing that for any of my own gain. The primary purpose is to get social outcomes. Right, so that is the first one that you need to understand and remember. Money that a business budgets to provide solutions to social problems within the communities from which they draw their workers, where they sell their products, all of those things. And then, of course, projects that are not part of the normal business activities. If you can remember, to corporate social responsibility, we have said there, these are internal programs. These are not internal programs. It's not part of my normal business activities, and are designed to aim solely for the benefit of the community. So guys, if you could remember this quite well, corporate social responsibility is something that we do, that we are nice to the community as a business, and in return we get the goodwill. We get the community to support me. In this case, this is not about that at all. Okay, so that's the main difference.
A nice way to remember that difference between the corporate social responsibility and corporate social investment is to use the 3 Ps.
Yes.
Profit, people, and planet. So with your corporate responsibility, it's about the profit.
Yes.
We're doing all those things to make more money, while at the same time considering how we do it, so we're not harming any person or the planet.
And the community benefits in the process.
The community benefits, whereas the corporate social investment is more the people and the planet part that you are looking after, where your aim is now not solely to make a profit, but rather to invest in and look after and promote the people and the planet.
There we go.
So it's a nice way to use the 3 Ps as a way to distinguish between the two. Even though your primary role is to make a profit, but with investment, or corporate social investment, it's there not purely not to make a profit. There will be a way that you can benefit off it, but that's not your purpose.
That's not the purpose, yes. Right. Okay. Now, guys, here with the purpose of CSI. CSI, it says describe. Describe also has a split mark, of course, and I've once again highlighted the areas for you that we would be looking for when we mark this at the end of the year. CSI aims at contributing towards sustainable development. Now, I'm looking for that word for the first mark of its immediate communities. Right? CSI is enforceable by law, and government requires businesses to make CSI contributions. Guys, maybe at this point I can just explain why it is like this. Guys, in a country like ours, where there's so much inequality and so much poverty and various other social ills that comes with it, it is very, very important that every one of us, especially businesses that are in a position to make a difference, to do so, because government cannot actually carry that burden. We have a diminishing amount of people that actually pay tax. And out of that tax, that is where the poverty alleviation programs come from. So without the support of businesses and other members that have the means and resources to do so, it's going to be an uphill battle all the way. So that is why this is very important. Okay, next one, CSI projects play a positive role in the development of communities. It reveals a business's attitude towards the community in which it operates. And then, of course, it's a long-term investment. Once again, guys, 3 bullet points here should put you over the edge. Right. And then, of course, guys, it has certain focus areas. The first one is the community, people part of it. Rural development is also referring to the people part. Guys, maybe this is a very important point for us to discuss why the rural development part is so important. It's actually a phenomenon right across the world, but especially in our country, it is quite important, and especially here in Cape Town, we see that quite often as well, and we call that urbanization, where people actually move away from the rural areas, and those rural areas lose all of those resources of people moving out, and they become impoverished. And what we want to do, of course, your urban areas become oversaturated with people. They cannot deliver the resources anymore. Water and electricity and places for people to stay becomes unsustainable. So what we now want to do is create a space or create a way for the rural communities to develop, and people can move back into rural communities, and so that they can prosper there as well. People move to urban areas to look for opportunities, of course. Right. The next one, of course, is we look at our employees, also part of the people part, and then, of course, the environment itself. Right. There are various examples of CSI projects. The nation support local organizations, being involved in conservation projects. Guys, Nedbank is heavily invested in the green initiatives, or the nature conservation programs. If you take out a credit card from Nedbank, they have a way that much of the money, or some of the money that you spend when you swipe, actually gets transferred to nature conservation agencies. So there's one way of delivering that. Delivering services that government is unable to deliver, investing in job creation projects like the MultiChoice Phuthuma project, adult basic education, sponsoring arts and culture programs. I've now said the APSA and the Klein Karoo Nasionale Kunstefees. APSA is the main sponsor there, of course, and then, of course, establishing programs to promote early childhood development. Right. Now, guys, this is a very, very important point. We have alluded to that a bit earlier, the difference between CSR and CSI. In terms of CSR, the intention is to change business practices, whereby with CSI, we are looking at actively committing money and resources to uplift a community. Now, guys, when you get a differentiate question, it is actually also a higher order question, because you need to make sure that the differences are shown clearly. If the difference is not shown clearly, you might be right in terms of CSI, but the difference between CSI and CSR is not clear, then they will only mark the one section. You will get the submax of that one. This question might count, for instance, 8 marks. Then they're looking for 2 differences. 2 marks will go to CSR, 2 marks to CSI for the same difference. But guys, if that difference is not clear, they only mark the 1. Okay, so you might lose out on half your marks if you don't show a very clear difference here.
I think it's quite clever the way that you have it on the slide there. So if you look at that slide, if you look at the first bullet point, you're showing the intention of CSR and you're showing the intention of CSI. Then you're showing the focus of CSR and you're showing the focus of CSI. Exactly. Then you're showing what it ensures and what CSR ensures and what CSI ensures. So that you can see is a link, and you're clearly differentiating between the two. So it's a good way to actually learn this work and to prepare your answer in that way as well.
Okay. Guys, in terms of this, I would not study more than 2 differences. 2 differences will give you 8 marks, because that's 2 marks for CSR, 2 marks for CSI. I would not actually study for all of these differences. I would actually concentrate on 2 only. And I will tell you where my specific one would have lied, and that is that second bullet point there, because I've alluded to that earlier as well. Focus is on increasing the image and the profits. That's for CSR. But on CSI, the focus is on the upliftment of the community without the return on investment. That is a very important difference. And also, that second to last bullet point there, often intended as a marketing initiative, where with CSI intended to benefit and uplift communities through social development. If you remember those two, you would be set to answer or to get all your marks for this question. Right. And guys, we are going to take a short break again. If you want to pause at this point, you can do so. We are going to just quickly stretch our legs and swap around, and then you guys can be back just now.